Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Kiran Deswal, Assistant Professor English, Baba Ganga Das Government Girls College, Sapura. In this video lecture, I will teach you the essay A Bookish Topic, composed by the great Indian writer R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan was born in 1906 and died in 2001. The essay A Bookish Topic is composed by R.K. Narayan, and in this essay he talks about book borrowers. He is a critic of those book borrowers who fails to return a book on given time. Narayan is sick with them. He frankly says that he is unable to forgive a man who fails to return a book borrowed from him on the given time. The author do not hesitate in calling him a book pirate. So let us start our essay. In my e-content, I have discussed the introduction of the author and the introduction of this essay. So let us begin with the essay, A Bookish Topic by R.K. Narayan. In the very beginning of this essay, the author, he is very frank, his style is very frank, it's humorous. We also feel laughing, and when he says that my blackest thoughts are reserved for those who borrow my books. I am unable to forgive a man who fails to return a book he has taken from myself. So it is very obvious in the very first line that the author, though he likes to lend the books, but he doesn't like the fact that people who borrow books from him do not return them in on a particular time. So he says that he won't forgive a man who fails to return a book he has taken from the author. I would not hesitate to tell him precisely what I thought of him. Obviously, he has blackest thoughts for them, so he cannot think fair about them, he cannot think good about them, he cannot think in a well way about them if he would not only give me a chance to speak. But what happens, as a general rule, the book pirate, he calls the book borrowers who do not return the book on the particular time, he calls them book pirate, shows no inclination to continue his friendship with me. They keep escaping from the author. They tries to avoid him, and they even hide while seeing him. He stops beside his house and remains still until I have safely passed his gate. If he meets me on the road, it is very funny. If the borrower meets the author on the road face to face, he doubles his pace with an air of one going desperately in search of a doctor, and it will be a crime if you stop him at that time because he is in a hurry at that time. So it's a matter of life and death to someone, and he has no time at all now to engage himself in any kind of conversation regarding that particular book, centering around some miserable book borrowed in a weak moment. This is the worst of the book pirate, which the author doesn't like at all. He begins to feel that it was due to some weakness that he ever entertained the idea of pursuing such and such a book, while a busy man like him could find no time to even read his neighbor's newspaper fully. It is again humorous. The Arcanine writes that the borrower is so meager that he doesn't get newspapers. Newspapers also, if he read any newspaper, it is of his neighbors. Later, it develops into an aversion both for the book and the man who lent him it. For a few days, he keeps saying, I have not yet read it, but I would like to read it, if I may, if you allow me. And the lender of the book, ever a generous brute, says, Oh yes, by all means, keep it. You have kept it so long, it would be pointless if you returned it without going through it. Keep it, keep it. It will be useless if you return it without reading it. uh, Even read it and then you can give it to me. At the next meeting, what happens, it is also shocking. The lender feels delicate to ask again about the book, A few months pass, and then a happy new year, and then another happy one, and suddenly you realize that the gap in your bookshelf is still there. And then one day you abruptly begin the meeting with, "Where is the book?" He will answer, "Which book?" asked the gentleman. When you have succeeded in stimulating his memory, he only says, "Oh, that. I will have to search for it." Naturally, you don't like the tone, and your reply would be like this: "Well, why not search now?" "Oh, not now. You see, I'm very busy now." Your instinct now tells you that you will never see your book. You feel that you are now seeing humanity at its worst. Words fail you. You don't know what to say. You cannot trust yourself to say anything further, and you go away. You let the topic and let the person. At the next meeting, the man says brazenly, with an air of condescending, to give a thought to your subject. He would reply that, "I have not found your book." कि यार तेरी वो किताब मुझे मिली नहीं. I was out of town for a while on business, because I was out of town, and I believe it must be with my brother-in-law. You know my brother-in-law? I don't. You obviously you would reply like, "I don't know your brother-in-law. Why don't you get it back from him?" I will, certainly, he replies mechanically. "Oh, I will myself go and beg him to return it. Where is he?" If you don't want to beg from him, this is my book, and I will beg it from him. Where is he? That's what I must find out. He has been on a tour. He might be on a tour. Why not send him a letter? I will bear the postal expenses. You are very desperate to have your book, so you are ready to bear the postal expenses. Oh, letters are no good. He's a very bad correspondent. So, the whereabouts of the book is in the balance, hang in the balance. It's not certain whether you will get your book or not. So, the book lender becomes very annoyed, very angry. You feel are already trailing away into indefiniteness at the next meeting, but there can be no next meeting after these bitter arguments. The gentleman goes behind his head and disowns you completely. He ignores you completely. It is under this condition you become a misanthrope. You hate helping people and ask why it is that you cannot complain to the police about the loss of your book. It is your right to have your book back. In a more perfectly arranged world, it should be possible. At the next election, my vote goes to the party which places itself to eliminate, along with illiteracy, poverty, and disease. It is again humorous that R.K. Narayan imagined that he will vote the party which will eliminate book borrowing from our society, so that he can stay in peace. He can give peace to his mind. I'm scrutinizing every manifesto and party program for this possible promise. He thinks that if it is practicable or not. So finally, he gives a solution to us. He says that all of us love to keep our books. This is true. We love to keep our books and also share the delight of good reading with others. If we read something good, we think that we should also share it with others also. So this is an impossible combination and turns out to be a painful experiment. A painful experiment because if you want to share the delight of reading with others, you have to lend your book, and once you lend your book, it cannot the borrower cannot do not return it. So how you will get it back? So it becomes a painful experiment. So first Arkanan decides that if you love your books, don't lend it to anyone on earth. It is a warning to the readers that if you love your book, if you want to have your book, if you want your book in yourself safe, you should not borrow it to anyone on this earth. This ought to be one's guiding principle. This is the major principle to keep your book safe. You cannot lend your books and yet have them, just as you cannot eat your cake and have it. So he gives an idea. He says that I know of only one person who has achieved both things. He keeps his books. They are safe, and he also shares them for the delight of reading. How? He lends books and yet retains his library in shape. He has an elaborately built up library at home, and he is most enthusiastic in lending out books, provided the condition is that the borrower, whoever borrows the book, even if he happens to be his own son-in-law, signs a ledger, means he has to sign in a register which the lender maintains, and returns the book on the proper date. This is the agenda, this is the rule. And he levies a fine of 6 pice per day if the book is held over beyond the due date, and he ruthlessly demands replacement of any book that is lost. So he is strict, that's why his books are with him. If he should be told if suppose that the answers which I receive for my book, if someone gives him the answer that my brother-in-law must have taken it and I don't know where he is, he would have replied, surely you would not have allowed your brother-in-law to walk away with one of your chairs, your cots and his spoons. How dare anyone think that he can be as irresponsible as he likes where a book is concerned? Don't tell me about your brother-in-law. I'm interested only in my book. It costs 9 rupees plus postage. Write at once to so-and-so booksellers. This book lover has been called rude. Though people call him rude, though the borrowers of the book call him rude, but he has to be rude to keep his library in shape and to keep his books safe. Pugnacious he will be called, pretty minded he will be called, and so on and so forth. But it does not bother him. He knows where his favorite volumes are to be found at any given moment. As an author, my problem is a little more complicated. The author is too much perturbed um, by this problem or situation, we can say. He tells us that I have, or rather try to have, in myself not only books written by other but also those written by me. It happens whenever you write something, you want to have a copy of it with you. An author may be pardoned if he likes to have his own books too in his library. So it is not a crime. The author has the right to keep his or her own book. It may not all be vanity. We should not call it a vanity. He may have to work further on it for editing, for a subsequent edition, or he may value it for being the first copy to arrive from the publishers. So it may be the hobby of people. So a publisher gives only 6 copies for presentation when a book comes out. Well, I am prepared to scatter 5 abroad. R.K. Narayan have no problem in scattering or giving his 5 copies out of 6. I like to be left free to keep the 6th. But he says that, let me keep the 6th copy, man. But where is it? Whenever I wish to see any of my own books for any purpose, I borrow it from a library, and he feels embarrassing. I wish others would also do the same thing instead of asking complacently, why should an author want his own books? Man, it is necessary. Thanks for watching the video.